Alex here with a legal nuts and bolts video on the law of the case doctrine. It's probably going to be a little bit technical, but I just filed a motion for costs in my case where I invoked the law of the case doctrine, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a video on it because I did a little bit of research on it, and it's something that might interest some people. So when I filed my, so I've won 4 appeals, but I'm just going to focus on the last 2 for the purposes of this video. So appeal number 3 was an appeal that I filed after my family judge awarded my ex attorney's fees. The Court of Appeals reversed my family judge's decision and ordered my family judge to vacate those attorney fee award, basically saying that I think she tried to get me to pay like $1,700. So the family judge had to vacate that award of $1,700. Once I won that appeal and the case, the remitter issued. I may do a video on the remitter. It's not really a big deal. It's a fancy word. Once the remitter issued, which means that's basically the receipt, the district court takes the case back over. So my family judge got control of that issue again because the remitter issued. The receipt from the higher court was sent down and she received it. Basically, it says, we're done up here. You can take back over. She vacated the award of attorney's fees, like the Court of Appeals told her to do, and she resolved a motion I filed. And what was in that motion was a motion requesting costs. And in that motion, I said, I want an appeal. Based on these statutes, I'm entitled to an award of costs. Now, the judge denied that motion. She didn't give me my costs. She vacated the attorney's fees as she was ordered, but she didn't give me the costs, which I was trying to get under the statutory authority. What did I do? I filed a second appeal. Oh, this is appeal number 4, by the way. This appeal resolved, again, with an order reversing. So the Court of Appeals reversed my family judge's decision denying my motion for costs and ordered her to give me the costs that I was entitled to under the law. So if anyone's kind of following me here, I am going to get those costs that I was unlawfully deprived of based on the results of this appeal. But to get those costs, I had to file appeal number 4, a whole brand new appeal. I want the costs on that appeal also. Now, here's where the law of the case doctrine comes in. The order reversing obviously controls the original motion that I was denied, that was improperly denied for the original motion for costs that was improperly denied. Obviously, that order reversing is specifically discussing that improper denial. But my new motion for costs isn't covered directly by that order because my new motion for costs is a request for costs on the new appeal that I just won. What I was able to use in that new appeal was the law of the case doctrine, and the way it works is this. Any issue that the Court of Appeals has discussed, or the Supreme Court has discussed in your case, whether you won or lost, is binding on any future issue that matches that exact issue or whatever other issues were discussed going forward. So when I filed my new motion for costs on the 4th appeal, the latest appeal that I just won, I was able to tell the court, even though the order reversing covers that last appeal, the law of the case doctrine says that I also get an award on this appeal because I'm asking for costs again using the exact same authority I was last time. There's no need for me to go back up there because the issue was just addressed by the Court of Appeals in my case. That's the law of the case doctrine. You can use that doctrine to control your family judge or whatever judge you're in front of if the issue that you just won your appeal on comes up again. And sometimes that happens, just like it did in my case. I got my costs because the decision was reversed, and that's great. But I also want more costs because I had to appeal just to get those. And the issue is the exact same issue. I'm making the exact same request and using the exact same statutes. The law of the case is a doctrine that just says that if that happens, if you appeal something, the Court of Appeals or Supreme Court discussed it, it comes back down, and that issue comes up again, that the lower judge is bound by the analysis of the Court of Appeals or the Supreme Court on that new anytime it comes up again. So I mean, conceivably, if something similar happened in my case again in the future, I don't think it will. I'm pretty much just getting my costs from winning my appeals at this point. My child custody stuff is completely done. Um, if it did come up again, I could use the law of the case doctrine again. So just keep that in mind for anyone out there who is filing appeals and hopefully winning them. Keep in mind, if you lose the same principle, your opponent can use the same principle. So if you appeal and the decision is affirmed, which means it was upheld, and it comes up again in the future, your opponent can invoke the law of the case doctrine and say, hey, that was covered by our Court of Appeals. Their discussion and their analysis controls going forward in our case. So it could, it's a doctrine. It's just something I wanted to let people know about, let people know it existed in case it comes up in their cases. As I mentioned, it's a little technical, but some people like my technical videos. So with that, I'll go ahead and end this video. And if anyone wants to, go ahead and post in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time.